Niggas throw rocks and then hide their hands. So I gotta keep grinding to make this plan work. I hear the whispers of them hating on me. I left the windows open that way the hate be free. Nothing about Z softly, don't tempt me to spit flows and lies and leave things empty. I done did time, kid, don't resent me. What I went for, just know I did sin me.
Oh, 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 smell the blood. Oh, 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 oh.
Mama told me to watch my back, cause I'm the only one here that'll watch like that. Keep my eyes on the prize, watch where my steps land. Toes hang around, they'll bring deception. For those that'll bring, better have protection. Situations change, make a misdirection. If I show the pole, yeah, it's gon' pop. Once I get to squeezing, then I won't stop, nah. So what we stop for?
It's the end of the track.
What? What's good? What's good? What's good? Musically Zone Talks Boxing. Welcome to this episode. What we're going to try to do what we do. We're going to talk about some things that happened this weekend with boxing. Canelo and Berlanga. Caleb Plant and McCombie, in my opinion, pretty much stole the show. Caleb did his thing. Now, some good questions has arisen because of Berlanga and Canelo's fight. And some of those questions are warranted. You know, people should be able to ask these questions, and I think they should be looking for some answers. Like, for instance, how is it that Canelo can fight somebody as big as Berlanga? I'm being told that the man came in that night almost 200 pounds, or possibly pushing 200. I'm talking about Berlanga, that is. And it doesn't really matter how big the man was. I want to know how many people feel like Berlanga is as skilled as David Benavidez. That's the question. I'm going to let that marinate on you for a second. Y'all give me a hot shot while I run and grab something real quick. Just give me a quick second. I promise I'll be right back. Well, I do that. I guess I can give y'all something so you don't be bored. I'll go and take care of this small situation. Today's been one of those rough days, man. One of those days where you just got to take a breath and exhale because the things have been going so scandalous. But I'm still here. I'm still pushing. I'm still striving for excellence. Y'all give me a second. We're going to get you back and forth and let that Susan for a minute while we go ahead and make this move. Share screen, back and forth. Yeah, we do that. Back and forth, back and forth. We go 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 back and forth, back and forth.
Now you won't catch me going back and forth unless it's to and from the bank. I never do back and forth with a hate mad nigga or a bitch who said I can't. I smoke loud, the strongest dank. It's up with me, what the fuck you think? Drip too hard, they all gon' drown. The nigga try me, he walk the plank. Chef Boyardee with the cook up. If you think shit sweet, nigga, good luck. I be all in the mix like potluck. Kettle corn, believe I pop up. Bubble rap nigga mad wanna pop us. Go hard, the shit too easy. If it ain't about cash, fuck that back and forth, cause it don't please me.
Back and forth, we go back and forth, back and forth, we go back and forth.
Ain't no tennis court around this way, little mama. I don't do that back and forth shit. That move. Dig this. Why would I go back and forth with niggas broken, hella jealous? Why would I go back and forth with bitches wrong and overzealous? So you out here running your mouth like we connect. That's how you tell it. Only time we back and forth is when I'm in it out your pelvis. Why would I back and forth with a cap ass nigga who just ain't built like that? Why would I back and forth when I'm knowing off top his top, I peel that back? Why would I put myself on a low nigga level? Bitch, I wish I would. And why would I back and forth when they all about drama and I just keep shit hood?
Back and forth, we go back and forth, back and forth, we go back and forth,
baby. I don't back and forth over that mediocre shit. I ain't even that athletic, really.
Back and forth.
We be back and forth on the road, back and forth doing shows, back and forth switching gold, back and forth switching hoes. Solid niggas never fold. Back and forth to the trap, back and forth switching straps. You can miss me with that acting. They be trying to catch me lacking, but it won't happen. UPS a nigga packing. Ayy, don't back and forth if it's irrelevant. They know I'm a threat and it's evident. Got your bitch showing me her measurement. Only real niggas at my residence. Yeah, it's up and it's stuck like it's supposed to be. About to bag a bitch like some groceries. Now he mad, she wanna get close to me, cause she know I don't do all that.
Back and forth, we go. Back and forth, back and forth, we go.
Only time I ever go back and forth about my motherfucking paper. It's my money and I need that shit now. You dig? I don't back and forth like ping pong. That shit there just too extra. I don't do that back and forth with a nigga who down bad and I'm next up. Like a bodybuilder, I flex up. Made a hobby out of running checks up. No condiments need to catch up. Do it big like I'm from Texas. Go back and forth, I doubt it. I hustle, stack it, then count it. Better boss up with your bitch ass, big red nose. He clowning. That money boosted my ego. I'm going crazy like CeeLo. Try to play with me, I go Devo. Never go back and forth with a zero, nigga. Yeah.
Well, I'm back. I appreciate y'all holding down for me while I took that quick little break. I ended up having to work today, so that's why we're getting started late. Like I said, some questions has arisen about for Canelo. People making fun of Terrence Crawford, saying he begging for a fight because he did the little thing. Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game. I wouldn't look at it as begging for a fight, but he got to make himself available and put himself out there in order to get this fight. Now, I am one of the first people to say that yes, I do ride Canelo a lot. I get on him, say that I just give him problems. And I have my reasons for it. I'm sure you people have your reasons for riding with him or giving him problems as well. But like I said, I want to raise the question about Joseph Brown. Salute, my brother. What's going on? Glad to see you in. I'm getting started a little late, but I'm here. I'm here. That part. As I was saying, watching Berlanga fight against Canelo, it brings the question and makes me have to wonder, what's so hard about him getting in the ring with David Benavidez? And I don't want to hear about he gains nothing from it because Benavidez has been a champion. Let's not forget that. Benavidez is an ex-champion. So he has accomplished something. So I watched a few fights where Canelo has, pulled certain people in to fight. And, going by his logic and the way he thinks of things, you have to wonder, how are these people getting picked? Now, it comes to mention that, Canelo is just 34. And when you say just 34, you can't just say it because Canelo's been boxing a long time. Canelo has one of those stretched out histories like Mayweather and the rest of these guys that started at 6, 7, and 8. Canelo was a pro as a teenager. You know what I'm saying? When he met Floyd, he was a champion. I can't understand what it is that's holding this man back, and why won't anybody question the fact that, hey, there's if you ask me, I say Berlanga and Benavidez are pretty much close to the same size. I think Benavidez might be a little more seasoned than Berlanga, but once again, I'm not taking anything from Berlanga because he showed me a lot Saturday when he stepped in the ring against Canelo. He showed me a lot. One, he showed me he didn't respect Canelo like all these other fighters are so eagerly and ready to do when they get in the ring with him, just start laying it down and showing him so much respect. Berlanga, he had his moments in the fight. Some people might say he was trying to get out of the fight, but I didn't see that. He did a little headbutt, and I felt like it could have been just the fact that, the way he's trying to step up and, they put head to head and just start throwing punches. I could be wrong. I could be right, but it's the way I viewed it and how I pictured it. And that's what I pictured. Joseph Brown said, leave the cash count alone. Be happy he gives horrible fighters an opportunity to wipe the sweat from his forehead. That's the problem, though. If, people, his fans, they ride with these type of decisions. And I just want to raise the question of, how is it that you can be satisfied with one certain fighter that fits pretty much the same mold as another fighter, but that fighter isn't hasn't accomplished much, or what would I gain from that? What you gain from Belinga? Let's just keep it real. I believe a lot more noise should be made toward the fact that Canelo is getting paid handsomely. He's being paid handsomely, and I just don't feel like he really giving you all the pop for your buck. Like I said, the fight was enjoyable by watching Belinga do what he was supposed to do, by watching him not crumble, by watching him trying to get over the hump. Yes, he was outclassed. I won't take that from Canelo. Belinga needs that experience, that seasoning. He got some now. He got a big dose of seasoning stepping in the ring with Canelo, but he was able to finish the whole fight. He did get knocked down once, but after that, he straightened up the ship and he was ready for war. As I say, he just needs a little more seasoning, and then he can deal with what's left in the lay of the land for him to deal with. Canelo, good fighter, great fighter, whatever you want to call him, great, good, however you want to market the man. But I still say, and I will not change what I say is, if you can fight Belinga, why can't you fight David Benavidez? That's a simple question. Simple, good question. Now, turn into... Dang, it went out. Just give me a reason that you could. What's the problem with you fighting him? You've been up to 175, 160, 168. You just candidly go back and forth whenever you want to, however you want to, with whoever you want to. And you pick these fights. You pick these fights that your fans aren't clamoring for. Your detractors aren't clamoring for. You just picking fights that actually nobody's clamoring for. Let's keep it real. You end up getting out of the zone deal because you were trying to get certain fights that even the zone, after they had gave you so much money, decided that they weren't clamoring for that type of action either. And with that being said, I think Canelo is getting ready to turn the last curve of his career, unless he decides to fight into his 40s, which is quite possible, because if he can keep milking the game and people are so willing to keep paying him, then why not keep pulling out your ski mask and robbing the game? Kind of like Floyd did when he got ready to lead the game and he collected all that money against, I won't say Sid fighter, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Keep your expectations low when it comes to Canelo. He told you already he fights for him, not the fans. This is true. This is true. This is so true. But my thing about that is the fans. Are the fans so willing to have a hero that they're willing to let him slide with anything, everything? Sure, we made issues about Canelo and who he fought, but come on, man, let's keep it real. This dude just collected money, and none of the so-called boxing pundits are saying anything. These so-called mouths, these talking heads, these large channels, everybody wants to say, "Oh, he did such a great job," and this and that. Well, I'm gonna speak on his competition and what they do. Billy Joe Saunders. That wasn't the fight that people thought he was going to win. Saunders talked some hell of a game. He talked the fight up well, but let's be honest. Did anybody really feel like Billy Joe Saunders was going to beat Canelo? Huh? No. Did anybody think Yildirim was going to beat Canelo? No. Or any of those guys when he went on the European tour? Not one name from the European tour crossed the screen that made people say, this is going to be a hell of a clash. Just didn't do it. It just didn't happen. When it comes to him facing the top names, I guess you could say he did good with Danny Jacobs. He did good with Trout. He did good with Laura. He did his thing with Triple G. He went and took care of Kovalev. Well, these are names that you could say he took care of. Came somebody who, such like Bibble, that was a top name. A lot of people didn't know Bibble, or I would say a lot of people didn't know Bibble because his name isn't one of those names to just ring like that. But he took a thumping from Bibble, and then he took a thumping from Trayweather. I said Trayweather, from Mayweather himself. I guess what I'm asking for from this great champion, this pound for pound boxer, is just give me a good fight where against somebody that actually would give you a test in the ring. And I'm not willing to say he's just been so good head over heels over everybody else. It just looks that way because y'all honestly know, like I do, some of these people this man has picked were not worthy of the shine they got. There are a lot of other different fighters that deserve that shine, in my opinion. If I start calling out names, people will start trying to argue about them, so I won't do that because all I have to do is make that statement. You know who I'm talking about. You know what fighters are good to see. Yeah, we all clamored for the Charlos at one point. Well, we saw what the baby Charlo did. He got out there and ran around. I will say Belinga, Mugia, you know, they did hell of a way better than Charlo. They went out there and they at least fought. But I want to know what y'all think about it. So I don't just be chewing the fat and ragging on the man. Like I said, I'll be the first to say, yeah, I do give Canelo hell about certain things. But the man can fight. I will give him that. I just feel like he's been skating along. If it's okay to say that Mayweather skated along on certain people and ducked certain people, then it's okay to say it. Canelo is doing the same thing, especially when Mayweather fought you. At least he waited till you came off of a win, and excuse me for the noise. At least he waited for you to come off of a win, and then he talked you up. You know, almost every fighter that Canelo gets ready to step in the ring with, they're horrible fighter. If he had went on and jumped in the ring with Demetrius Andrade and beat Demetrius Andrade, what could somebody have said? Nothing. He went out there and did his business. But he let that go to David Benavidez. Congrats, hats off to David Benavidez. David Benavidez is out there trying to do his thing. Simple and plain. I would say, the biggest rush that he got was facing Floyd Mayweather because a lot of people wanted to see him knock out Floyd, and it just didn't happen. Now, the man got whiskers. He's been doing it for a long time. I'll give him that. He's been around for a minute. From a youngster, a teenage kid to right now 34-year-old man standing out there. Knees ain't the greatest in the world, but he is doing his thing and he's still winning. So what can I say about that? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. I ain't going to just keep beating him up. I do. Oh, God, what's this here? His fans still pay for his fights. You leave them and Canelo alone and give him no time or attention. Bivol beat all the toughest challenges out of him. He's borderline headed to be an exhibition fighter. So you think he's getting ready to come around that corner? We'll be seeing pretty soon he'll be coming around that corner, and the face of boxing, as everybody loves to say, will be getting passed on to, dare I say, the next person. And who would that be? Who's still young enough and exciting enough to hold that torch for a few years? Because to be the face of boxing, you got to, in my opinion, you got to have some longevity that's going to be able to follow with you. You got to be able to do it for a little while. Stand in front of these people and make them understand and see that you are the new face. So you're right, JB. I'll back up a little bit and let him make it. And let his fans make it. I won't keep tipping on him and smashing on him like that. For now. For now. But what I want to do is turn to my boy Caleb Plant. That's right. Let me pull Caleb in. This was to me the fight of the night. This was the fight of the night. I think Caleb Plant stole the show. I think Caleb Plant went out there and showed some what for. Some I'm ready to get at it. Now, sure, a lot of people didn't give McCombie a chance, but McCombie came out there and was letting his hands go, and he wasn't respecting Caleb Plant. He went out there to try to do something with it. Caleb had to overcome that. Even the announcers thought that Caleb was about to lose the fight. They were thinking that McCombie was about to knock him out after Caleb fell down the first time. Or was it the second time? You take your pick. Anytime that he fell down, they got real crunk and thought that Caleb was about to get his lights turned off. They was trying to put Caleb on a meat wagon already. But Caleb Plant, ain't he from where is he from? Memphis? Tennessee? The Tennessean? He had other plans. That man said, ain't no way y'all finna sit here and watch me get beat up and knocked out. I done stood in the ring with Canelo. I got knocked out against Canelo, but I stood in the ring with him. I stood in the ring with David Benavidez. Got lumped up against David, but I went to the end of the fight. And he showed his toughness, his resolve, everything that he needed to show pretty much in the McCombie fight. And if you didn't leave that fight thinking that, man, this man did his thing, Caleb might be trying to plant himself and come back up. Now I've heard, why isn't he ready to fight? Who was it? Iglesias or something like that? Well, listening to his reasoning, he fought for this belt, and I believe it was the WBC's interim belt. Canelo's the world title holder. Didn't even know that was a belt. But yeah, Caleb said Canelo holds the world belt, which leaves the other WBC belt up for grabs, which means he'll probably be elevated. Do the math. Makes sense. To some people it will. To some people they'll call it ducking. I don't really know. All I know is the man has put his hands on another title, intern. And the way boxing is going lately, interns turn into champions with a blink of an eye, because so much moving has been taking place. Now, do people feel like Terrence Crawford is begging for a fight from Canelo? Has your mind been changed about if Crawford can beat Canelo? Or do you still have the same stance that Crawford is just not ready? I've heard some people say that Crawford's just not ready for Canelo. He should stay away from Canelo, even after this fight that he just had. But I don't think that. If the man is say he wants to fight and he can deal with the fight, then it's up to us to let him prove it. It's up to us to let him prove it. Do I think that Crawford can get with Canelo? I said this before. Yes, I do believe Crawford can get with Canelo. Do I believe that Crawford can get with him even more now? Nah, it's a possibility. This would be a fight not pretty much for Canelo to prove anything except that he can win. This would be more of a fight for Crawford to prove that he can beat Canelo, the heavier man. The guy that's been doing it for so long. The name that rattles on everyone's tongues. Crawford should get a chance to do that. I've heard Canelo say that he's willing to fight Bivol if Bivol beats Better Beef. Why do you need to put a stipulation on if Bivol wins or not? He done already whooped you. You should be ready to go and get that get back. But you notice how people aren't riding on Canelo's ass about getting get back like they did Devin Haney. Now, sure, the thumping was quite different. Canelo didn't hit the floor, but at the same time, Canelo was getting no paws put on him. Never heard nobody say, "Oh, it's all right, Canelo don't have to rematch him, this or that." Forget that. Why he didn't want to get back? But Joseph Brown told me to leave him alone. I'm talking about Plant. I can see Plant facing Berlanga. He's already faced Benavidez. But if he's true to this revenge tour that he's so-called on, he'll be facing Benavidez again at some point, possibly, if he's really trying to be on a revenge tour. He spoke the words. You think Canelo will give him another chance? Don't know. How good do you think he did the first time? Do you think it'd probably make Canelo worry about giving him a chance? I know I keep saying I ain't gonna talk about the man. I'm trying to let it go, but some of these roles just lead back to him. That's all I'm saying. Some of these roles just lead back to him. Man. Now, the thing that stunk up the place the most are the two, some people say the two old men, as Lara and Garcia. What the heck happened with Danny? Now, the first thing I started seeing, people say, "Oh, Danny wasn't really himself." All this nonsense about what was and what wasn't. What was is Danny got punched in the face, and we saw him quit. Now, I'm not gonna make an excuse or try to sweeten it up or sour it up. The fact is what it is. He pretty much quit. Simple as that. I didn't hear anything about him going to the hospital or anything being broken or anything messed up or nothing to weigh out and say this is what was wrong with him. All I seen the man go out there, not really throw a bunch of punches, stand and look for most of the fight, both of them really, and he just didn't do anything. Moody Trayweather says, "Man, I don't know why Danny keep going up in weight." Yeah, that move from 154, he moved up so quick. I don't know what you're thinking or what the reasoning is behind that either, Moody Trayweather. Excuse me. I really don't know what the reasoning behind that was. All the smoke was at 154 where he was at. The smoke that he needed, jumping up. Well, he did mention that he had called out Lara. Lara was a champion. Maybe he thought he was going to put a champion up under his name, and that was it. Hey, I see we got Hyphy and slid into the building. He said, "Hi, great win, Canelo. Now fight Iglesias for the real belt." Caleb, not Canelo. Well, that could get lined up too, Hyphy. You never know. Caleb Plant could end up being in talks with Iglesias and see fight for the so-called real belt. I don't know. I'm just telling you what his plan was and what he said. He said he got his hands on that belt because Canelo is the world champion of that belt, so he can be elevated. You do the math. So salute. Trey X in the house. What's going on, my brother? Glad to see you moving around and with us. Joining in to the conversation. We got started off late, but we are here. So, this win could open up some things for Caleb Plant. Could give him a little bargaining power. He'd been in the ring with two of the biggest killers that people would like to say, with the Mexican Monster and Canelo. Yes, he did come up short with both of them, but his comeback fight, not an easy touch, a soft touch, or however you want to say it. He came out there and he did his thing. He stood up and he fought. Moody Trayweather said, "Plant surprised me with the stamina this fight." That was the biggest surprise to me, Moody Trayweather, is the fact that he was able to go ahead out there and he was able to overcome the gas tank issue. He the adjustments that he made, that was the biggest surprise to me. It was a delight. Actually, it was a delight to see him make the adjustments, react on the adjustments, and make the adjustments do what they do. It also showed a separation between him and McCombie, because McCombie was not able to make the adjustments. And I guess I would have to lean on and say that I would give Caleb the edge on that. And the reason why is because I would say the two fights before McCombie were good measuring tools and good measuring sticks for him to learn from Canelo, keeping calm, not being overly hurried and rushing, trying to do things. You would have thought he learned that from him, but he ended up going out there against Benavidez and he was moving at 90 miles an hour, seems like. But this fight, he seemed to slow things down a little bit, just enough for him to be able to do his work. And once he started working, he started feeling himself. he starts showing a little bravado, wiggling his hips and, putting his hands up, getting the crowd to try to get behind him. So, yeah, he did show that. It was a pleasant surprise to see him be able to step his ass out there, go to war, take whatever the McCombie was bringing at him, and rifle it back at McCombie. Like I said, it was nice to see him actually come out on the good side. I don't know too many bad things a person could say about him. Yeah, he did hit the floor. He did hit the canvas a couple of times. But let's keep it real. Every time we see certain fighters hit the floor and they get back up and fight hard and keep fighting, what do we say about him? That man showed hard. He showed grit. He showed determination. Well, I guess I got to say that about Caleb Plant. He showed grit, hard, and determination. He's making his second round. And we'll see what lines up for him and what it is that he's going to be facing, or should I say who it is that he'll be facing in the future. But I'm looking forward to seeing him, Berlanga, Iglesias. If Iglesias is ready, like Hyphy say, I'm ready to see what'll happen. Simple and plain. Oh, my bad. So y'all shoot some, maybe let me know what's really going on with y'all. How y'all day been? But as far as the Canelo fight, who would be next? That's what I want to know. Who should be next up on it? Matter of fact, we got some stuff coming up. My one question is, how satisfied were you? And this is an important question. Meaningful. How satisfied were you with this PBC card? I can say the most satisfaction I got out of it was Caleb's fight and Berlanga's fight. Caleb got dropped hard by a 1994 WWF wrestler. Imagine what Iglesias would do to him. Well, I can imagine that Iglesias would be coming out hard on him and everything. But I can't say that Caleb would just lay it down. I think Caleb would really try to put up a good fight. He showed a wrinkle in his game. He showed that he can take it to the phone booth. Now, I know you're probably going to say, Iglesias will run right through him. But I don't know that. You got to give him a chance. The man is working on his revenge tour. 1994. He working on that revenge tour. So we got to see what's going to happen with that. Plain and simple, plain and simple. That's how I feel about it. But I don't think Caleb's scared of Iglesias. I tell you that. I think if anything, 9 times out of 10, we'll probably see him and Berlanga fight. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm guessing might end up getting put into the mix because they've been shooting words at each other. Caleb took the chance when he was interviewed to say that he don't think Berlanga even won a round. He didn't talk too bad down on him, but you could tell that it's something there. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing these dudes get it on and see how it turns out. I give Caleb a good chance with Berlanga. I say they both about the same when it comes down to it. We just have to see who has honed in on their skills the most, the fastest. Berlanga now has an idea of what it is he needs to do and how he needs to react and what he needs to bring in order to get him to the top of the mountain. Caleb has already been through the situations for him to find out what it takes for him, what he'll need to do to get to the top of the mountain. The only question is will the future be kind to them both and help them work their plans to the way they need in order to get what it is they want? And that's to be champions again, especially for Caleb. So with that being said, that's how I feel about that hype. Big hype. Get this green together. Everything. I feel like I'm rushing so bad because I'm so late coming in. But that's what happened when you got to hit that job. You got to have that hustle to make that muscle. Belinga got dropped and mentally packed it in. He showed no desire to take risks to win. I would not pay to see him again. These are the words from Hyphy. Now, honestly, Hyphy, when he got dropped, I don't know if you say I didn't see the mentally packed in. I really didn't. What I saw was a young man who realized that he could stand in there and fight. I think he realized, the lights had stopped being so bright. He calmed down, and the calmer he looked, the better he looked when he was fighting. He did not stop throwing punches. He actually went head to head, put his head up against Canelo's head with the high guards, and they did some work. So I can't say that he mentally packed it in. I just didn't see that. If anybody else saw that, please let me know that you saw it. But honestly, I didn't see him pack it in. I saw a young warrior out there trying to prove himself. Once again, he was outclassed. He was outmatched because I feel like, his skills need to be worked on a little more. It's some nuances that he can touch on. But I think the man is his mental capability of being in the ring and fighting. I think he proved himself. I don't think he packed it in. I don't think he packed it in at all. And honestly, he said I wouldn't pay to see him fight again. You pretty much, the payment was made to see Canelo. Nobody thought that Belinga was going to win except Belinga and his people, maybe a few people that made some. When I say a few, I'm sure it's a few thousands. But for the main part, I don't think any of the big boxing pundits thought that he was going to go out there and win. Everybody said the same thing. He got to hurt Canelo. But we all know that it's pretty hard to hurt Canelo. The only person that really, I can say, put him on a stanky leg for a second is Cotto's brother. And how long ago was that? A long time. I can't remember anybody else ringing his bell. If I'm wrong, somebody go ahead and remind me. But the man got some whiskers, and we all know that. But saying Belinga mentally packed it in, no. He got dropped, and he got up, and he fought back. The outcome was didn't change. He still ended up losing, but he fought back. That man fought back. He let Canelo know he was there. He did something, like I said, he did something a lot of other fighters didn't do. A lot of other fighters went out there, threw a couple of punches when they got hit, got on their bicycles. They started retreating or started letting him push up on them. They just protecting themselves while he swing away. Who was it that he punched the man so much in the arm that he punched his damn bicep loose? Come on, who stands there and let somebody just keep teeing off on you like that? Belinga didn't do that. Belinga went out there and fought. I think Caleb Plant would have been able to make it to the end if his gas tank didn't betray him. So, yeah, that part. I'll watch Belinga fight again. I sure will. I'll watch that man go out there and make some noise. Say what you want, Hyphy. But, excuse me, that's the truth. I'll watch him fight again because I think the man still got something in him. I already said I think he's going to be a champion. Y'all mark my words on that. I probably got some background noise because I'm touching stuff and moving stuff around, but I'm going to get quiet in a second, have a silent background. Trying to get this gas put together. What else? Oh, but back to Danny Garcia and Laura. Laura got to hold his hands up. Danny got stopped. We had never seen Danny be stopped. I didn't get a chance to hear exactly what was going on with him or what happened to him, but I can tell you that when we watched the fight and Danny ended up taking a knee, when he walked back to that corner, whatever motion he made to his dad or said to his dad instantly called the fight. And I don't know how you would read that or anybody else would read that, except he quit. It wasn't like he was taking no beating or anything like that. They really weren't doing anything. They really didn't do a bunch of anything. But then, Laura started getting a little warmed up. He threw a few more punches, but honestly, that was a lackluster performance. around the table. Peace to Danny. He didn't find out he no longer had the heart for boxing until he was actually in there. Nothing bad to say about him. Great call by Brother Angel. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. It's okay for Danny to get into the ring and realize then that he don't have it. But Berlanga gets knocked down, gets up and continue fighting. And we hit him with a negative? How that work? Where they come from? Where they do that at? Danny knew if he still had love for being in the ring or not. I would have to say, shit. You sat out the ring for 2 years? You moved up in weight class. What I think is Danny probably thought Laura being old at that weight class, this should be a cakewalk. I should be able to go up here and beat old Laura, or Laura's old. I should be able to go out here and take care of him. I'm thinking that's what Danny and Angel was thinking. I don't think that they thought the old man was going to have anything to give Danny. But since Danny didn't go out there and smash on the gas and make it a fight where Laura would really have to work or do anything different or make adjustments, he just went out there and let it be a simple, hey, let's do what we do, like a glorified sparring match. Maybe he found out when Laura started sitting on his punches that instead of Laura reverting to being the person on the bicycle because he got punched, maybe he should have got on his bicycle. He said Danny wasn't kicking it with Fat Joe throwing up gang signs. Edgar was at 24. Danny was winning as the underdog and not fighting just to survive. Now, you can't be mad because the man know Fat Joe. The man come from New York. He's actually a Brooklyn boy. I think he's a Brooklyn boy. And because a musical, I don't know if I want to call Fat Joe a mogul, but I guess I can say he is a hip hop Hall of Famer. I give him that because Big Pun put him on the map, and he kept moving. He kept moving it right along. So yeah, I ain't mad at him because he was hanging out with Big Pun. I don't know nothing about the gang signs being thrown up, but if you saw gang signs, okay. Now, yeah, Danny did fight some fights, underdog and everything, but tell me this. Was he able to beat Keith Thurman? Or did he beat Sean Porter? Was he able to beat Earl Spence? So what you're saying is, or what I'm saying is, yeah, he was fighting as the underdog, but when he came to the top of the hill or the top of the stairs, every time somebody was there, they was actually able to turn him back around and tell him he had to start again. Via Thurman, Porter, and Spence. What he should have did at one point when the iron was hot and people was talking about he had beat Terrence Crawford in the amateurs, maybe he should have rolled that way. Now I know they faced each other twice, and the second time that he fought Crawford was totally ready for him. And well, what else can you say? If a person of Crawford's caliber is totally ready for you the second time, if you beat him the first time, and we all know they split, then what can you say? D-Lo 404 Boxing. Salute all. Salute to you too, my brother. Glad you made it through. Hope it's not too late for you because 11:39, you sent that message in. I waited a couple of minutes before I answered. 11:41. He might have fell asleep, y'all, but we'll see if he say something else. But y'all know how the old man is. Edgar doesn't have a win as good as Danny win over Amir Khan. Try again, brother MG. I feel what you're saying. He beat Amir Khan. Edgar doesn't have a name that big to hang on the wall for a scout. But Edgar is young, like Danny was at one point, and the story isn't fully written yet. So we don't really know what's going to be laying on the road down the line for Edgar Berlanga. But I will say that if they line him up and he can get in there and do what he needs to do, he go in there and sharpen up his skills a little bit more, I'm gonna be honest. I think the man can be a good fighter. I think he's a good fighter now. I think he can up his skills. I keep saying I think he's going to be a champion. I don't know which organization he'll be representing as the champion, but I believe he'll be a champion. Who knows? He might even be able to become unified. Dare I say? Eric R in the building. He says, "Salute, fam." Salute right back at you. Glad you could step in. Give us a little chill time. I know it's kind of late. We usually still on about this time anyway. So forget the late start and just say we here. Yeah, we here. Hit me with some. How was your trip? How was that? How was your trip, Mr.? I'm in Thailand with Saget from Street Fighter. That was beautiful. Love it. I gotta go. I want to go see those beaches. I'm already put a move into the family. They told them, hey, we're gonna have to go to Thailand. Eric R and his family being. So, where was I? Giving Edgar Berlanga his props. Hyphy, I don't know. No matter how you come right now, I think Edgar Berlanga. I think he one of those kind of guys. I think he's tough. He can fight. He just needs some more seasoning. That's it. He got the right kind of attitude. I just like to see him become a gym rat. It was the bomb. We're going to have to talk about it. Oh, for sure. For sure. I definitely go back. I feel you on that. Eric. Shit. I'm just sitting here thinking about it, but I ain't gonna let my mind drift off that way. I gotta keep drifting on this. Where was I going? Lost my train of thought. Y'all give me a second. Let me get myself back together here. It'll come to me, I guess. It'll come back to me. So, Hyphy, if you finish beating up on Berlanga, you got anything you want to say about Plant in his win? You said plenty about Berlanga in his loss. What do you got to say about brother Caleb Plant in his victory over McCombie, other than he was a 1994 WWE wrestler? Or WWF, what was it? World Wrestling Federation. I want to see Caleb Plant with Berlanga. My boy Hyphy want to see him against Iglesias. I'll take either fight. I ain't picky. Hell, anybody want to they putting their gloves on and they fighting hard fights? I'm there. I want to see it. I'm all for it. I'm all for it straight out the gate. Yeah, give me a hot second. I gotta go take care of something, and I'll be right back with you. Get your questions ready, Hyphy. You do that. While I pull something up for y'all to check out. Man, what is that? For y'all to check out real quick. Give me a title of a song to play. Somebody shoot it in the chat. One of y'all remember, so I can go find it. I'll pull it up so I can go ahead and get back real quick. Matter of fact, I ain't even got time. Whoo! Y'all know how it is when they get to calling you. Calling me. All I see is people getting beat down. Canelo ain't the face of boxing because he's getting ready to retire. I'm just bullshitting. Y'all know that. Here we go. No, that's not it either. Damn, I can't see tonight. I'll hit y'all with Professional. Let brother Beast roll y'all through with Professional while I go and get myself straight a little more than what I
It is place, put it in my vegetable. Professional, she gon' go. Gonna handle all the biz, yeah. Professional, she gon' go. Gonna handle all the biz,
She
yeah.
bout her business, she handle it. Shorty a flame, but she handle it. Cutie is slim with a lot of thick. Salt to the touch, but she hard as shit. She got a 9 milli with custom grip. Talented family with extended clip. Needless to say, she don't play no games. Keep her hand on the swivel so she don't slip. She funky Cubana with Colombiana with similar traits with different persona. The mama don't mess with no drama, she snipe. These niggas that play, they get slick on the karma. Killer, assassin, the passion is realer than those who don't feel it. That's why she much iller. She in her lifestyle, so I put the plane. She don't fuck with vanilla. Ice cream, nigga, ice cream. She use vice grips in the icing. Clutch, mistress on the night scene. Everything that she do is enticing. Touch. She control the bag by any means. It's a little inches with a bag full of G's. Rose petals on the floor, table full of weed. Why they get up bitches put their hands on their knees? She a boss.
It eats place, booty fly, eat my vegetables. It eats plate, but a tag, I'm professional. Make a splash, always got that trick fit. And it lifting in every wish. Professional, she never miss. Professional, she gon' go. Gonna handle all the biz, yeah. Professional, she gon' go. Gonna handle all the biz,
She
yeah.
walk in the room and get hated on. Sexy as smile, but her aura strong. Boy, in music, you hear the song. Anything different, you hear it wrong. Red bottoms and savage by Fenty Yorn. Waist hanging jeans and a pinky thong. Coming down the block and jingling in like it's Friday and she must stay alone. She got her money, don't mess with the bunny, the broker, the bummy. These niggas that claim that they eat, but they hungry. Accounts are sufficient, they fishing for honey while holding they tummy. She got goals to accomplish. Bonnie without pride, no accomplice. Miss Independent on the conquest. Guilty as charged, no contest.
It eats place, booty fly, eat my vegetables. It eats plate, but a tag, I'm professional. Make a splash, always got that trick fit. And it fits in every wish. Professional, she never miss. Professional, she gon' go. Gonna handle all the biz, yeah. Professional, she gon' go. Gonna handle all the biz, yeah.
All right, I'm back. I appreciate y'all holding on for me while I go ahead and make a run. But I'm back. My boy Eric all say the dude Plant Paul looked like a combination of a 1980s villain from the A-Team and Paulie Malignaggi. Really? I did feel like he looked like some kind of villain because that mustache looked like a big caterpillar. But the man came out there. 80s villain. I see all kind of villains. Snidely Whiplash comes to mind. Oil Can Harry. You know, villains like that. That's the kind of villain he looked like on the cool. Oil Can Harry. I don't know if y'all know about the Dober Boys and Oil Can Harry, but if you got a chance, look them up. The Dober Boys. Oh, I hate the Dober Boys. I hate Tom. I hate Dick. I hate Larry. That's from days of when I was young. Eric all say I'd ring walk to this with a Houdini hat and an Undertaker trench coat and the WCW championship belt on. Wrong sport. I don't think they're gonna let you come to the ring like that, Eric. But I sure appreciate you taking it as a ring walk. Go ahead and do your thing. Prove these people you can do anything you want to, like Plant did, and overcome. It's not the fact that he fought a villain-looking type of guy. Let's be honest. It was a pretty tough matchup. You know, a guy that wasn't gonna bag down. Well, in his mind, he wasn't gonna bag down. He didn't respect Plant. He tried to go out there and really put hands on Plant. The thing is, we have to really look at it and say Plant was dealt a hand that he had to overcome, and he overcame it. A lot of fighters could have fell down 3 times and let that really mess up their minds. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fighters could have got up and curved up. Plant didn't do that. Plant kept fighting. He went on and handled his business. Made Canelo proud. Made Papa Canelo proud. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't get into the reach out to Canelo and say, "You see what I did?" But by Belinga coming out saying that Canelo was his idol and all this kind of stuff, that might not sit too well with Plant. Now, I will say that Belinga said that Canelo was the hardest puncher that he's fought. And that's no knock. You know, if that's the hardest puncher you can fought so far. He said some other guy that had some crack. I can't knock down, but that's what it was. Eric R. You right, Eric R. Good point. He said that knockdown brought out a mean streak. Exactly. It made him open his eyes and say, hold up. This motherfucker trying to beat me on national TV? You trying to embarrass me? Oh, man, we can't have that. So, in true form of a champion, Caleb Plant got up, pinned his ears back, put his hands up, and walked into the fire. Literally. He stepped to the man, pushed the man back, and outclassed him. Showed him his levels to this shit. It is levels to this. You can't just run around and throw a bunch of punches and think that you're going to get a win because you could overpower somebody or try to overpower somebody. Good job. Great job. So, hats off to Caleb Plant once again. I'm still a Caleb Sweet Hands Plant fan. I'm glad he made a good comeback. And just to touch out, I heard the Cowboys got their asses tore off the bone playing against the Saints. Eric Goss said he ain't getting his honorary black card back. What he got to do to get his card back, Eric Goss? Win about 2 more fights. Who he got to beat in order for him to get his card back? I'm just asking. You know, I ain't trying to just hand out the card. I'm just asking what he got to do in order to get the card back, to fall back in good graces of a certain demographic. You tell me what he needs to do. I'm willing to listen. My leg weights came in. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you to my daughter. She's the best. They all the best, but you know. So I'm getting my workout in the way I was told by the wizard, so I don't be putting extra strain on my hips. I'll be able to get full work on my core. I'm getting my miles in, so my stamina is a lot stronger. Getting that gas tank back to where it was. Beat Canelo without fanning out. That's what he has. That's what he would have to do. Beat Canelo without fanning out. Well, I don't know what it is with this generation that everybody got to be like, oh, this person was great. This person, if you beat me, the last thing I'm going to be trying to stand up there and tell the world is how great the motherfucker is that beat me. I just don't get it. Yeah, he beat me tonight. He was the better man. But I'll be back. You know, he's still number 2. I'm still number 1. Shit like that. That's the kind of stuff to fall out of my mouth. But to just be like, oh, he's the best, he's the one. No, I ain't doing that. You can say that for somebody else. I guess really this whole live for me is just to talk noise. Caleb Plant did his thing. Danny Garcia. That's how I feel about the Danny Garcia fight. Put your thing in your throat and throw up. That was a terrible fight. Terrible exhibition. Terrible showing. Terrible just shit, Danny. Laura's what, 41, 6 years older than you? You 35, 30, you know, that's 6 years. You couldn't overcome the 6-year deficit. You couldn't. Man, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that. That's downright horrendous. But as I was going to touch on, I heard the Cowboys got their ass beat. And I'm tripping because I'm like, can y'all just fork out a whole bunch of money? To Dak, making him the highest paid player in the league. He say, right, acting like these niggas out here got to glow like Bruce Leroy. Bruce Leroy? Bruce Leroy? Nigga, please. Bruce Leroy. Catching bullets with his teeth. Picking off jabs and parrying jabs with his leg, catching it with it. Man, whoever put that slow motion move with Andre Ward, oh my goodness. Catch the punch, then send the punch with the hand that you caught the punch with, and then retrieve that hand and put it up on the phone to block the punch. Beautiful work. Beautiful. That, man, I watched it at least 6 or 7 times. Even showed a couple of the people that work with me who were boxing fans. I'm like, this is how you catch and shoot. And everybody that saw it was like, man, that was cold. He did that. That's the kind of stuff that I like to see pop off in the ring. That's the kind of stuff that you be seeing. When you see the work that they do in the gym, when you see the training, the hours that they put in, the bag work and all that, when you see those certain things show up in the gym where they punching and they putting their hands up and they blocking and parrying and catching, when you see that take place in the fight, it just, oh my gosh, for me, it's like taking a hit off the blunt. It just put me in a high state. A high state, I tell you. Get you off your feet. I mean, get you all to the edge of your seat where you just want to see more. And these are the things that really just turn me on in boxing. When I see smooth pivots and punches off of them, when I see a person make you miss 3 or 4 shots and then seeing shots back at you and get you off balance. These are the things that just make boxing so classic, so beautiful. Makes you just hunger for more. To see those skills, the scientific part of the fighting take place. When you take a half step back and then shoot that punch because you made him miss. He said, I saw it. He said, that's what I saw. It was Danny, a blown up 147 pounder going against an acclimated, active 160 pound, 60-pound fighter who was more skilled. Like I said, in my opinion, when I heard Danny speaking about it, fight Laura, and Laura and them said okay. He did say he ended up having to wait a long time before the fight really came to pass. But he said he was dealing. He had, I think he said he had a new baby or something. He was dealing. He just being a family man and chilling. But I think he chilled too long. I think he stayed out the ring too long, and he paid for it. But I still think he thought old Laura was going to be an easy mark. Laura's older. I could take it. His words was, well, that's what they made sparring for and running. So I won't have ring rust. I'll still be, I'll still have my gas tank and everything. Well, the gas tank in the ring, I can't say about the ring rust because, like I said, he really wasn't throwing punches. Whatever the hell happened, when Laura hit him with that straight left, the way Danny stopped, it just looked so strange because he got hit and it looked like he was fighting to not fall, but he was dazed enough that he was like, man, I got to take the knee because Laura was right there ready to pounce on him and start dropping hammers. This is what I think. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just saying I think this is what happened. He got punched. He shook him. He fought to stay up, but he realized that staying up may be a mistake because Laura was going to punish him some more. So taking the knee was the smart thing. The bell rang, and like I said, whatever signal or motion he made to his dad knew exactly what to do, and that was to stop the fight. You're not going to be out here just lumping up my son and beating the brakes off my son around here. I'm sure old Angel was hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Angel was hurt, that he had to see his son quit like that because, in my opinion, Angel had so much pride in his son that when they say it would be Angel that would be the one that will have the hardest time walking away from fighting or from boxing, I tend to believe that, just seeing the way he acts and reacts with his son when it's time for his son to fight. Hopefully, you know, he'd be able to keep himself busy and squared away, because he did say once his son quit, he was done. He won't be training anybody else. So once Danny Swift Garcia walks away, I think Angel will be walking away too, unless it just pulls on him so much. Who knows? Danny might even decide to come back and do some training. I don't know who will train with him, but you know, I'm pretty sure he got something he can show some people. Eric also said he reacted like he got uppercut. It was weird. Yeah, the way it was like, I want to go down, but I don't want to go down, but I gotta go down. It was like one of those type things. But like I said, I'll give him the credit and say he fought to stay up, so he could say, no, he didn't punch me and knock me down, but he was dizzy enough to say, you know what, like Sebastian Fundora did when he got clocked against Lubin. Instead of getting more punishment on me where I could end up getting put to sleep, I'll put a break in the action by taking the knee and see what happens next round. Well, there was no next round. Not in this fight. There was no next round. It was over. I want to know if you guys agree with me. You don't have to agree with me, but I think Danny's done. No disrespect to Danny or anything like that, but you know, you went up to 160. You pretty much skipped 154. You had one outing at 154, I think, and then you were gone. I think you moved a little too quick. I think 154 is where you could have stayed. Some people could make the argument maybe he saw what was really laid out in 154 and said, you know what, I ain't trying to deal with this. Now, you'll say it don't make sense that he went up to a higher weight class, but maybe he thought that he can deal with some of those people a little better. Hyphy said the delayed reaction was his body not being accustomed to recovering from a good shot. I could feel you on that, Hyphy, but when you see it, the shot didn't really look all that devastating. It really didn't look all that devastating. It just looked like a straight left that caught him. It didn't look that devastating at all. But you never know until you get punched, and that's what it is. You get punched, and then you find out the guy, dang, did he really hit me like that? That's how your body probably reacted. That's how his body probably reacted. Like, what the hell just happened? Eric also said Earl better follow Danny out the door. Thurman too. Now, you know what, Eric? That makes some good sense. Eric, you were making great sense tonight. Earl might need to pay attention to that same thing. You've been through a couple of car accidents, a couple of eye surgeries. Your last fight, you just, you didn't show up as well as you thought you would. Terrence Crawford showed up in great retrospect. He showed up so good that that's all people could talk about is how bad he whooped on you. So you might be right, Eric. And Thurman might need to go ahead and say, you know what, it's time to go ahead and call it the eve. Time to call it the evening. That's a couple of fights that we just probably not gonna get. Not to say that Earl spent he had a good run. Hell, you had 3 of the 4 belts at 147 pounds. Your whole career pretty much up until now was at 147 pounds. The only loss you took was against arguably one of the best fighters in this era. Pretty much one of the best fighters in this generation for sure. I think his shine didn't get to be as bright is because, you had the likes of Mayweather running around. Then you had the likes of Canelo, who became a star after Mayweather put hands on him. It just wasn't set up for old Crawford to shine as brightly as he could. But he's still shining. It's starting to come to him. He's getting his flowers. He said, Bud a Muslim now, OG? I have no idea. I see, he hanging out with Turkey Al-Sheikh. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Stay close to the money, Bud. Stay close to the money. Is it true that Turkey Al-Sheikh and his people end up buying the Ring magazine, or was that just, some scuttlebutt? Is that true, or was it scuttlebutt? Somebody let me know. Because I want to know what's the purpose of them getting their hands on the ring. Well, I guess they'll be in control of the what's the name of that belt that the Ring magazine have? He said Terrence changed his name to Kendrick Lamar. No, those people did that to old Crawford. And what I hate about that is it'll give people a chance to say, you know what, people don't even know who Terrence Crawford is. That's why they put the wrong name up there. You know that's gonna be one of the biggest arguments that people will start saying, especially if he start hollering for a Canelo fight or really making noise to try to fight Canelo. I'm pretty sure that's going to be some of the stuff that they'll be throwing up. Is that the fact that those people made the mistake and called this man the wrong person? How do you make a mistake like that? Especially since Crawford has been on one of your cards before. Crawford has fought up under that banner before. So how y'all screw that up? You know, how you screw that up? Maybe they saying that Kendrick and Crawford look alike. And I'd have to say, well, we all don't look alike. We just don't. But yeah, I don't know how they made that mistake, Eric Carr, but it wasn't a good one. It wasn't a good one at all. But we'll see how Crawford and his team handles it. I don't think they need to handle it at all. Shit. It wasn't a mistake that they made. People know who Terrence Crawford is. People know who Crawford is. Let's not pretend like they don't. What did I just do? Okay. But I don't like the fact, people making fun of him, talking about he begging for a fight because he did that put me in the game, coach. He made that little video. But hell, if you're trying to get a fight, you're going to have to do what you got to do. Like, I agree. Hey, put me in the game. Canelo, what's up? All this. Oh, I won't get any credit if I beat him. I'm supposed to beat him. I'm not going to get any credit if he beats me. Then, well, if he beats me, that's going to be hellified. But the fact is, everybody that you fought, you didn't worry about that with any of them. You didn't worry about that when you fought your sparring partner for a vacant belt. You surely didn't worry about it then. The hell? So with that being said, if Crawford want that smoke and you feel like he can't beat you, then let the world know about it. Shut these people up. Shut them up. Make them be quiet. Make them do like Terrence Crawford did to Earl Spence fans. Or should I say like Crawford did to me. MZ, I know you an Earl Spence fan and you say you a Crawford fan too, but you like Earl better. So he went out there and showed me the mistake that I made. Canelo, do the same thing. Let your Canelo, I don't even know what to call it, Canelo, the Cinnabons, the Cinnamons, the Cinnamons. I don't know what the hell to call them. Whatever you call them. Tell them, Canelo, go whoop Crawford, go whoop Benavidez, then beat up anybody else you want and ride off into the sunset. He say, Eric Garcia, I don't know why a fighter has to be made fun of for wanting to fight on boxing. These new cats, I don't understand. Well, I was speaking about these youngsters today. They seem to be wired a little different. They whiny, complaining, they entitled. It's a lot that this new generation has going on with them that my generation and generations older aren't quite wired like that. But it is what it is. Each generation has its flaws or its setbacks or its tones. And right now we're going through a tone of entitlement. These youngsters feel like they're entitled. They don't want to listen to nobody. Everybody thinks because they say they're the greatest, that everybody else should agree with them without them having to go out and prove it and show. And, I've never subscribed to that. I'm not one to say, oh, you this and you that, and you ain't showing it. You got to show it time and time and time again. Going out there, winning one good fight. Boxing is like, what have you done for me lately? You won today. What you going to do tomorrow? That's sports in a nutshell. You're a champion today, but what you gonna do tomorrow? The great champions that we talk about over and over again, those are a lot of them are the ones that you see become champion on more than one level, more than one occasion. Basketball, football, baseball, soccer, boxing. Tell me I'm wrong. You win a championship one time, yeah, that's good, and you can ride high off that for a little while. You're gonna always be a champion once you get it. But at some point or some time, the fire behind that burns down. You got to restoke that fire. You got to become a champion again. Or you got to become a champion and stay that way. Hold it down. Put your feet down and say, you know what? This is it. I'm the champion, and that's where it's at. Floyd Mayweather get a lot of static for the way he did his thing. 50-0. A lot of people say, well, that ain't really all that. That ain't really all that. Hold on. The wife said, hello, everybody. What was I saying? Floyd Mayweather 50-0. Who was Julio? It was Cesar Chavez that went 80-0. Which fighter was it that went 80-0? And a lot of people say, well, Floyd didn't do that, and they bark about their record. But I'm like, what killed that record is the man took a loss. Yes, he won 80 fights in a row, but you took a loss. At some point, if he had left that mark at 80-0, a mark that, in my mind, would have been untouchable. Floyd wouldn't have been able to reach that. But Floyd did the smart thing. He used his head and he went for the title, he went for the record that meant the most to a lot of people. And that was the one that Rocky Marciano held. 49-0. So Chavez. Yeah, it was Chavez, 89-0. And because Floyd went after Rocky Marciano's record, I feel like it shook a lot of people a certain way. It moved a lot of people a certain way, because you better believe, I know some people talk about Rocky Marciano like people talk about Elvis. They just love him. So the 49-0 at heavyweight, I think Floyd attacked that one because, you think about it, that's the heavyweight record. That's really, the heavyweight set the tone, regardless of what you say. You talk about all the fighters you want, but you can't not let the heavyweights not come out your mouth. They the shit. They, you the heavyweight champion of the world. Back in the day, I know the consensus was, if you were the heavyweight champion of the world, you was the baddest man on the planet. You could whoop anybody. Simple and plain, there it is. Let me put that Chavez 89-0 up there, just so it can resonate to people. That's a hell of a lot of ass kicking. 89-0. 89-0. Shoot. Can you imagine when somebody when that one loss came? Just think how that reverberated throughout boxing. Eric Garcia, I spoiled my son last week. He landed a few good shots, and it left him open for the punch combination. After that, he said he was tired. Today, he tells his sister, I beat dad. I'm like, what? Nah, Eric, those few good shots, maybe you ain't telling it right. Maybe he got a lot of shots. You just calling him a few, and you landed a 3-point combination, and he was like, I'm tired, Pops. I've been whooping you all day. Let me just go ahead and take a break. He said, I'm like, what? If you quit, what does that mean? She said, you lost, bro. Stop capping. Floyd's 50-0. This is from D-Lo 404 Boxing. Floyd's 50-0 is only a record in his mind. It's simply his fight record. Simply. But heck, the history books say that it's 50-0 in his mind, and the history books too. So in generations to come, it's gonna be in their mind that the man was 50-0. Sure, they'll be able to go back and look at it and everything, but whose fault was it that they classified Conor McGregor's fight as a fight that should be what's the word? Hyphy, what's the word they be using? I can't think of it right now.
Oh, about
When they sanction
about.
No, when they sanctioned it. It's not our fault that they sanctioned that fight. And what's going on, Hyphy? How you doing?
Hi, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so in the past, we've heard Brother Shakur say that he would not pick a winner between Brother Crawford and Brother Ennis because those is both like his brothers.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then we've also heard Shakur reference Keyshawn as his brother, and we've also heard him reference Abdullah Mason as his brother.
Okay.
All right, so how come whenever he be asked about Jerron Ennis versus Terrence Crawford, he always say like, oh, he not gonna get into that. But when just on Sunday, when he was being interviewed on Cigar Talk, he said one of the top fights that he would like to see happen is Keyshawn Davis versus Abdullah Mason.
So your question being?
So my question is like, how come, like, why did he say between Brother Terrence and Jerron, those is both his brothers, and he not going to pick between them, but then he want to see his two brothers, Keyshawn and Abdullah, fight? Like, what's up with that?
Maybe he's not as close to Keyshawn and Abdullah as he is to Crawford and Ennis.
He called them his brothers.
Yeah, even in families, all brothers aren't, as close to each other as you would think. Some brothers hang out more with each other than other brothers do. And like I said, maybe those are his two favorites out of the four. Maybe he got something maybe it's something in his mind that he want to see one of them get beat. I don't know.
So he want to see his brother get beat?
If he's calling for them to fight, he's expecting somebody to lose. Unless he thinks they're gonna go out there and fight to a draw, and I don't believe he thinks that. So in his mind, for somebody to say, I want to see these two fight, in his mind, one of them is leaning toward victory for him. Or why else would he call that up? That's how I would have to look at it. He might not think that he might be thinking that Crawford could lose to Ennis and Ennis could lose to Crawford, and he just don't want to say that. He don't want to bring it up. Saying Ennis, Keyshawn and Mason, it is what it is. So maybe he looking to see one of them get beat by the other.
Yeah, when he was asked about it, because he was asked, and who would he have winning? He said, like the thing is, Keyshawn is like, ready to fight at that level. He said Abdullah just need more time.
Well, there it is in a nutshell. I guess he's looking for Keyshawn to do his thing.
So you saying he want to see Abdullah get his ass beat by Keyshawn?
I'm not saying. I guess I would be saying that if I said it. If he wants to see those two fight, and the statement was made that what you just if he said what you just said, then yeah. Apparently, he feels like Keyshawn holds the better hand at this moment right now. If Mason needs a little more work.
Hey, see, that's to me that sounds pretty disloyal though, because remember when Floyd, Kid Austin, and Schofield was on Shakur ass, Shakur, he had to go run behind Abdullah and get Abdullah to try to fight Kid Austin. So Abdullah was gonna do that for him, but now he ready to put that knife in Abdullah back.
Well, give me a second real quick. Eric also laughing out loud. Put that Triple G pressure on him, MZ, that full court press. I feel you. There is no historical significance to Floyd's record. It's a record. Wait, it's a record. It's his record. I feel you, D-Lo 404. D-Lo says, sounds like Shakur's new nickname should be Brother. Shakur always has something. This is from Eric R. Shakur always has something. Shakur always going to go with Bud at the end. He used to say Earl was this guy too. People change from day to day. Now, all I can say with that is, you know, if he want to see those two, if he's willing to see those two fight, he's got to have it in his mind that one of them is going to win. They should have asked him that hard question and said, well, who would you pick? Who are you picking to win that fight? Since you saying that you wouldn't mind seeing that fight, you have to have a favorite.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like, you know how I just gave you the example of how you call people a brother, and you know he could go call on Abdullah to fight his battles, but Abdullah never called on him to fight no battles. But then it's like, you know, you'll put that knife in his back again. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like Shakur, he always be trying to explain himself, but it never makes sense, and that's why people don't be liking him.
That's understandable. Moody Trayweather says, wasn't Haney Shakur's brother too?
Yeah, and you know the Haneys, they used to like feed Shakur when, you know, because Shakur, he wasn't fortunate to have certain things, so they used to like take him to certain amateur tournaments and, you know, let them like stay at their hotels, and basically like they would take care of him, oversee him when he was on the road. And you know, look what Shakur ended up doing to them. He put out footage on them. He called you know, he called Bill a bitch and all type of stuff.
Yeah, well, in that instance, you know, kudos to the Haney family for being real at that point and helping the young man follow his dreams and do what he needs to do. But as people get older, you know, he didn't just jump out and say that about Bill and Devin. You know, some things were said from Bill and Devin from the Haneys as well. You know, they started saying some kind of slick stuff too. And Shakur is a man. You know, he's a man, young man, but he's a man, and no man is going to just allow you to slander them in any kind of way and put out stuff. So yeah, they're going to bite back. You know, it's just human nature. So him defending himself against the slanders of the Haneys at the time that it was going on, because I kind of remember what you're talking about, but I do remember them going back and forth and saying a lot of things. You know, Bill has put the propaganda out there about how well his son had did against certain fighters in sparring. You know, he went so far as to say that his son had put a stamp on Mayweather's retirement. Who believes that? Especially now. It didn't age well at all. Who believes that, seeing how you went out there against Ryan Garcia? Do we really believe that Devin Haney, Bill Haney's son, handled Floyd Mayweather so well in sparring that it stamped the fact that Floyd should stay retired? Does anybody believe that? So statements like that was also shot over in Shakur's direction, and he just defended himself.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, I understand what you're saying, but you know, it sounds like Shakur is basically.
You kind of muffled.
I'm sorry, it sounds like Shakur and him just stooped to the same level, but you know, nonetheless, it's just, you know, this dude is like, it's always some type of character flaw with Shakur, and you know, this is why he find himself in the position he in. And you know, this dude, like, he just real disloyal. He an ungrateful little bitch, if you ask me. And yeah, you know, he gonna get what's coming to him.
Well, the way I look at it, these fighters have some rough waters to navigate. I think it's a little bit of luck of what happens for you, to go with the skills that you have, the mouthpiece and the organization that's supposed to represent you and get you fights. It's just a stroke of luck, really. If you get blessed where eyes look at you and say, you know what, that's the one. He is the one that we should push. That's for every fighter. You know, look how good Boots is. Look how good people perceive him to be. Look how good Terrence Crawford is and how good people perceive them to be. Terrence Crawford, let's just take his name. This man is a hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter. But the shine that you would suspect that he should get, you know, as a hardcore boxing fan, you would think that he would be getting all kind of shine, but it's not like that. And a lot of times we point finger over at Top Rank, and we say Top Rank can build fighters, but for some reason, the ones that we look at that we deem that should be built and brought up and shined out by him, they don't. He lost Floyd. He lost a lot of great fighters, or you know, top fighters, because he didn't know what to do with them, or he refused to just do something with them. And you know, right now, I think Shakur, he just went through that. We looking at it, in my opinion, we looking at a shift in the way things are done. These fighters, this is unprecedented, in my opinion, to see so many fighters jumping ship, going to different places, and as they say, being free agents. This is one of the first time we've seen so many fighters, named fighters, do that. Back in the day, as big as Muhammad Ali's name was, he still had to deal with Bob Arum and Don King. I just think we're seeing a shift because of social media. These guys are starting to see and feel like, I don't think you should make so much money off of my back, and I'm doing all the work. And I'm thinking that they're starting to realize that they are the product. And what are people paying for? They're paying for the product. So, you know, things are said, things are done. In Shakur's case, you know, it just falls in line with Floyd and all the other guys that had to leave Top Rank or Golden Boy. It's just, if he can find the right spot that can make the right moves for him. Eric all say, whoa. Now, MZ, you know that fight with Ryan Garcia never happened. Devin, as far as the ABC, BC is concerned, he's still undefeated. Well, as far as the boxing history goes, he's undefeated. And I can see how that can make a bad taste in people's mouth, because they ran around and made so much noise and barked about it and fought the situation that was laid in front of them. And I can see how people disagree with that. And I've heard the question from the other side to say, how many of you people will really be willing to just know that a motherfucker cheated you and say, okay, he cheated me, let's get it back? That's how most people would say, let's get it back. Devin went extra yard and said, you know what, fuck that. You're not even finna get the win over me since you cheated. If you had a possibility to do that, would you? Oh, I lost hyphy. So I asked that question to everybody. If you had the opportunity to erase a loss, would you? Or would you just say, you know what, fuck it, we're going to fight again? If I could erase your loss and come back and fight again, okay, do that too. But, you know, like I said, this generation moved different from the older generations. It moves different from us. We just got to figure out, the waters have changed a little bit. Now we got to figure out how to navigate in order to see what the hell is going on. Eric All said, yeah, Bud is looked at as a little less known as the prime Shane Mosley. And at that time, he was overshadowed by Oscar and Roy. There is no Oscar now in front of Bud unless you say Tank. That's a good toss out. But Eric, all you got to remember, you can't take Canelo out the frame yet because he's still there. He is still there. And you're right. You know, people like Oscar was there. Floyd was around for a while. It was a lot of lights. It was a lot of shine that was shining in other directions that would be hard for Crawford to pull eyes on him. You know, think of the names you just said. Mosley, De La Hoya. I mean, yeah, Mosley, De La Hoya, Roy, Captain Hook. Come on now. Those are names. It is quite hard to just imagine at the time Oscar Roy and Mosley was hot and shining, and you say Terrence Crawford. Motherfucker said Terrence who? Who? That that's just how it is. Eric All say nope. It would be a let's run it back. Ain't no reset buttons in boxing. Well, we used to think it wasn't no reset buttons in boxing until the Haney's showed us that if you make enough noise and you get enough pointed at a person, that it could be a reset button as far as your record go. Straight up. Because they pulled that magical trick off. And I said magical. I didn't say magic trick. I said magical trick because that's what it was. It was magical to pull that off. Are you ready to see Devin back in the ring? And if you see him back in the ring, other than Ryan, who would you prefer to see? Who would you be willing to watch him fight? Because I don't think Ryan is going to be the first name in line. I'd be surprised to the fullest if we look up and they say that they about to run it back. But I can guarantee you that when they do get ready to run it back with Ryan, if it happens, that it's going to be a lot of stuff that hovers over Ryan's head that Ryan's going to have to do. I don't care about how big his name is or how bad he whooped him or how bad he did him in the fight. You better believe, I think, unless they stupid, they're going to make sure that they have Ryan in the situation that you're going to be on an even playing field from start to finish. I don't know about putting Tank to finish up on that part, but unless you say Tank. I don't know if you would put Tank in front of Bud, because Tank is at a situation now is, who do you fight? Who do you fight to get people, to make sure that people keep hanging on your every whim? It's time, in my opinion, it's time to step it up with the people that stepping in the ring with you. Here we go. I say Haney going to expunge all his future losses. They found a loophole. So you saying Cat's gonna be like, she don't even make no sense to fight him, because if you beat him, you still not gonna get the win. Is that what you saying, Eric? That's some hard stuff. So that's going back to what you said earlier. That he said, I want to see Devin versus Gary Antoine Russell. Oh no, that's not Mr. Gary Russell. Oh, you Antoine will be, if they could make that fight, Antoine just will be coming off of a loss. Devin will be coming off of a loss, no contest, took back win. I don't know. You think Devin is, you think he want to come back to that? That's the first thing you want to step out into the ring with? Eric All said more people know Tank than Bud. We don't have enough audience to do a poll. Everybody I can think of in my mind that watches boxing knows both. But I know you're probably thinking back now to the mistake they made with, or the thing they did with the Kendrick Lamar with Bud's face. And that's not the first time I've seen them do that. I'm trying to remember the other people that they did that to, had somebody up with somebody else's name. It's not the first time. I got to give me some throat lozenges. I feel like I'm starting to catch a cold. Throat getting scratchy. And no, I ain't been eating nothing but steak and shrimp, just in case somebody wouldn't be funny Talking about why your throat scratchy. You know how people could be. Then Devin going to pull that Andre Ward narrative. Devin has lost the fight since he was 12 years old. Hasn't lost the fight since he was 12. Devin ain't no Andre Ward. Devin ain't no Floyd Mayweather. Devin ain't no Canelo. Devin ain't no Crawford. He just Devin. He gonna have to cut his own path. And you know, the way they done muffled up and mucked up the waters in boxing with his name, he got a lot of work to do. In my opinion, he has a lot of work to do because, one, how do you gain the fans back that you've ostracized with the moves that you made? Now, for those that are going to say that Ryan cheated, you're going to probably get them gathered back real quick. You get them gathered back on your side real fast. But how do you get the ones to say you couldn't get out the way of the hook? And all these other things that's going to be said. Because, you know, I'm going to just say, if he's back, he's got a long road to haul. Claiming that you still undisputed, you still the undisputed champion because you still got the belts. If they haven't stripped you or anything, I think he's a champion in recess. So when he come back, shouldn't he be fighting for the belts? If they've been passed off to somebody else, should he be coming back to reclaim what supposedly he is? That's what I would think. But shit, everybody know what they need to do to you now. In my opinion, rush him and start putting hands on him, because he said in the amateurs that Ryan jumped on him, surprised him, and Ryan got the best of him. The fight that we saw, yeah, Ryan caught him with the hook, but when Ryan decided to step on the gas and push on him, he had no answer. And I think any fighter that has that temperament where they can push forward with good offense and some defense, they gonna put Devin in the situation. Devin better get his shit right. He better learn how to calm down and how to deal with somebody coming on him and jumping on him and just mauling. So he gonna start racking up losses, especially if they worth their salt. That's my opinion. Moody Trayweather said, Tank is so popular, it's people thinking he could beat Bud. Yeah, you were right. And then when he did make that statement, didn't he make a statement about knocking out Bud or something like that some few years back? Which I'm like, first of all, Bud is a hell of a fighter that knows how to use his length. He'll tell you his arms is long. How Tank gonna get past that? For the people that think Tank can beat Bud, I'll say Tank is a hell of a boxer, but I don't see him in a fight with Bud where he'll calculate so well that he'll be able to knock Bud out or stop Bud. I just don't. He's too little. He's too little. A good big man beats a good little man. A great big man beats a great little man. And in that situation, as good as Tank is, Bud is just as good. And Bud is bigger than Tank. He's taller and he has the reach. So that means he'll see everything that Tank is going to be bringing to him. And Tank isn't one of those guys that move like Mike Tyson and bring that kind of pressure. No, he's not that guy. He's not that guy. He brings pressure, but he brings pressure where you shooting shots trying to get at him type pressure. Yeah, you get some licks in, but imagine him trying to do that against Crawford. I don't see that working at all. So his people should chill on that. He said he can't cut his own path avoiding all these solid opponents that he avoids after they order him to fight. Who I don't know, man. It's so hard to make a decision when these cats be talking about they were supposed to fight, and somebody priced themselves out, and all these kind of moves. It's just so once they throw that out there, it's like blood in the water for the sharks, because it's a feeding frenzy then, because people can come up with all kind of narratives of why they didn't fight. Oh, they turned down this much money, they turned down that much money. You see how we found out that, what was it, 1.7 million for Brian Norman Jr. When we first heard the conversation about the money, you know, from the from Normans, it was a low amount. Then they come back and testify to the fact that a 1.7 or 1.5, somewhere around there, had been offered, and they turned it down. And some fan tried to score, be talking about it's a young champion, this and that, and he was speaking for Boots, and I was like, damn, did you even listen to what we was talking about? You just saying something because you saw the title. Don't be stupid. Sometimes pay attention and listen, or you know, you read the title, but you actually didn't listen to the conversation. And I don't mean you. I'm talking about that person that tried to say something. He said, I would have respected Devin if after Regis he started trying to immediately unify 140, but he tried to leapfrog building and going after Ryan, thinking he was the weakest link. I can agree and attest to you, agree with you on that and attest to what you're saying, because Devin did seem to be a little cocky with leaning on what Tank did. And I remember saying, you saying all this to Ryan about what Tank did and how he quit against Tank from a body shot, but you are not Tank. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think he looked at the way Tank won, gave him some kind of confidence that he was gonna go out there and just walk through Ryan. We saw the sparring footage between you and Tank, Devin. It didn't look like you were just whooping Tank. So him whooping Tank, I don't know how that. See, that's this generation. I don't know how that worked. Because he did this to Tank. Oh, I can do this. And he went out there and none of that shit happened. He had one good moment in the fight when he caught Ryan with a straight left. Ryan fell back, you know, and Devin went after him a little bit. But after that, you know, he kind of got toned down. You know, he had a shot here and there where he was fighting, and as soon as it seemed like he was getting himself straight and ready to start working, Ryan clocked his ass and knocked him off track again. So yeah, he probably did think that Ryan was the weakest link, and he went out there and found out, sir, you are the weakest link. That's what happened. He went out there and they put a mirror up in front of him. Who's the weakest link? Point. Mirror point right at you. So I agree with you on that. And he fought Regis, called him old, all this kind of stuff. You know, he should have been saying Regis was a great champion, hard hitter, all this kind of stuff like Mayweather would do. Talk him up, make people feel like you finna go out there and have to deal with something like that. It's not like Regis no busting. We saw Regis go out there against a good, you know, when Josh Taylor Gang was like really in his powers and in his bag, and Regis went out there, he got outboxed, but he went out there, and then he became a champ again. You know, Devin should have been bragging on those points instead of talking about he old and slow and all this kind of stuff. That just made, to me, that just compounded the ridicule that Devin's receiving right now because of his loss with Ryan Garcia. That's how I feel on that, Eric. That's how I feel on that. I feel like I beat Hyphy tonight in a small debate. Everything he threw to me, I feel like I came out on top. Y'all was here. Y'all saw him run tonight. So he can't jump up and be like, I beat MZ on his own. No, not tonight, baby. I'm on point tonight. Got leaned on the man so hard, his whole phone, his whole internet just said, fuck it. I can't do it no more. I got a little bite to it. So, I'm excited about the WNBA playoffs, changing the subject a little bit. And if I'm going to change the subject, I might as well change the view. Bam. I'm getting excited about the playoffs coming up. I want to see how Asia Wilson and I'm going to do. I'm really hoping that they can make a push to play in the finals. And I really hope that Kennedy Carter can lead the Chicago Shy into their 8th place spot, and then, you know, come together. It would be great for them to be able to pull together and make it to that spot. But I don't know, man. It's going to be a hard fight because you got 3 teams fighting for that 8th spot. 3 teams. Excuse me. I'm just excited to see how it's going to go down and what's going to happen. Start getting some football up under me. But, yeah, this basketball is going to go down. I don't know if you be watching the Eric or, but I think I'm going to try to catch all of it. Yep, I agree. Devin destroyed everything he touches. That has to do with marketing himself. And, you know, let me see. He destroys everything he touches when it comes to marketing himself. I had a picture of Devin, lost it. Let me see. What exactly? Give me a little more on that for me to understand. Oh, you talking about him down in Regis program and everything like that. Hell, he was talking real crazy about Ryan, what did he say, a C-level fighter or B-level fighter? I don't want to mess it up. But you gonna see why a B-level fighter or a C-level fighter can't deal with me. You know, I can understand him talking like that. But I still feel like, you know, it was a lot of things, and hindsight is always big, but there are a lot of things that I feel like, dude, y'all should have been on top of that. Listening to Eddie Hearn talk about how things was going on, just getting a small sample size of him speaking on it. Forgive my computer's got the jet engine on for some reason tonight. I don't know why. Oh, maybe it's this. Listening to Eddie Hearn speaking, you know, it gave a little insight that they really thought that they were just gonna walk through Ryan. It didn't matter that he didn't make weight. You know, they just felt like they was gonna walk through this dude. Yeah, we got a little extra money off of it. This, you know, hindsight. Look at it. Yeah, we gonna get this money off of him because he came in and he ain't made weight, so we gonna charge him for that, and then we gonna go out here and whoop his ass. That's how they thinking. I'm willing to bet if we could be flies on the wall or we could talk to somebody that was in that camp, I can guarantee you that's how they was thinking. I'm willing to put money on it that they was thinking they were just gonna walk through Ryan, and that's how so many small things slipped past and got away. That's why they didn't think clearly. They weren't thinking clearly and aware enough to think that your son burned his ass all the way down to 140. He burned up that energy. He did what he needed to do to make it. Yeah, he was professional. They want to say he was professional. He was professional. Yeah, he was professional. But somebody over there need to be thinking like a slick person would think. Ryan had told us, I ain't gonna burn myself down where I'm weak and this and that. I'm gonna be strong. He told everybody that. Not a lot of people actually took that into mind of the words that he was saying because he was doing so many crazy antics that it took away from the fact that you listened to what he was saying and you paid more attention to his acts and actions of what he was doing. When he did the racist thing, that blew up everything. But the crazy stuff that the young man was saying throughout the promotions of the fight, people missed when he was telling you, no, I'm not gonna make weight. I'm not gonna make myself weak like that again. I'm never gonna be in that position again. People missed the fact that he was saying that, you know, we fight at 140, which he ain't fought at 140 yet. And to me, Ryan's lazy. He don't want to work hard. He riding off of it, the skills that he got going on right now, you know, what he got, and the fast left hook, you know, he know it's good enough to knock some people out, stop some people. He proved that he could beat Devin Haney with it, you know. I'm like, dude, if you can't make 140 and you refuse to do the work to be at 140, I wouldn't even entertain no fights for him. Any of the 140 pounders, I wouldn't entertain any fights for Ryan Garcia. I would Tank, Shakur, Devin, any of those guys in that weight class, Teofimo, all those guys. If Ryan come knocking, unless he gonna make 140, I would not entertain. If he don't make 140, I have it in his contract. You don't even get paid. We have somebody on standby training the whole time just in case your punk ass don't do what you're supposed to do. But as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't entertain any fights for Ryan Garcia because he's somebody tell me when he fought at 140. When he was 140. When he made 140. When did he make 140? I would tell him, take your ass up to 147. There's some work up there for you. Go up there and prove that you really like that. Eric also, I would have commented on that Saints versus Cowboy game, but I'm still coming to grips with that shit. Show my Eagles put together on Monday. Wow, the Eagles had a bad game too. They overly discredited his opponents before the fight. That's your bread and butter. You only as good as who you be. So if they sea level, old, washed, too small, that means you ain't fighting no one. You know what? Using his logic and the way he talks, that makes great and perfect sense. It really does. But going back to Ryan Garcia, in my opinion, that's what the 140-pound division should do to him. They shouldn't even waste time listening to him talking about who he want to fight. Since you know he got his big boy draws on and he talking about beating up Bud and guys up in that area, but then take your ass up there to 147 or 154, somewhere where you could make weight. Go fight where you can make weight, beat some people, and then let us know who you are. Because that's the only thing I feel like I want to see from Ryan Garcia. I ain't trying to hear about him being part of the Four Kings no more. Because when it comes down to the Four Kings fighting, he ain't meeting them on fair grounds. Now I heard, I know a lot of people complain and try to say, well, Tank put a weight clause on him and this and that and this and that. And I'm like, well, they fighting at 135. But Tank gave him some leeway. But Tank was smart enough, and you have to give credit to Mayweather. You have to give credit to Coach Floyd, the other coach. You have to give credit to them, because Tank let it come out his mouth. Oh, y'all want me to fight a middleweight? Y'all think I'm gonna let him come in the ring the size of a middleweight? Which Tank ain't stupid. I'm like, he right. Now people say he put a weight clause on him. I'm like, Tank fight at 135. We've all seen Tank gain weight and be a little fat dude running around. So it's not like we know that Tank don't gain weight. The thing is, Tank got to burn off whatever fat he gained while he chilling and make that weight. He said they couldn't blow up to a certain amount, but then when the worst things started really coming out, it wasn't really set like that. Weight clause or not, Ryan Garcia has yet to step into a contest where he's the right size for a weight class. You at 135, you squeezing yourself down, then it comes to a point. I don't know when he realized or figured that he started having an advantage, by not coming in at the right weight class and, you know, probably using the fact that, you know, I'm Ryan Garcia, a lot of people follow me, a lot of people gonna see the fight, we're gonna make some money. That's alluring to people. But I'm like, right now, fuck Ryan. Send his ass to the weight class he's supposed to be at and see what he do with it. He said Floyd only went in on guys when it was personal, and he made sure to give them their flowers after the fight. Yeah, you know, he did. He played the bad guy role, but he also made sure that after he played the bad guy role and did the villainous stuff pre-fight, after the fight, he did give guys props. He did give them their recognition and say how good they were, and said that he believed at some point some of them would be great champions. They'll be a champion in time coming up. Things like that. So these guys got to learn all that. You know what I'm saying? Some of them, they go overboard with the compliments, but they doing it after they lost. You know, after they lose. That's just, come on. Give the champions his prop and keep it moving. You ain't got to get gushy all over him and start talking about, oh, he was my idol and I looked up to him growing up. Fuck that. Friends become enemies in boxing at some point. Y'all can be friends again after it's over with, but when y'all step in that ring, you're going out there to win. I just, you know, it's a lot to it. Mike Tyson used to knock people out, and I was like, you know what? Have you ever noticed when Mike knocked somebody out, they always was like he was so brutal and vicious and this and that, but after he knocked those dudes out, Mike showed a genuine concern about those people that he dropped. He always went and checked on those dudes. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but that was something that stuck out to me about Mike Tyson, because I was like, dude, he used to have a real look of concern on his face when he would go back and see those dudes be knocked out. He would go and check on them. I just thought I'd throw that out there because, you know, Mike Tyson, brutal knockout guy, said some very crazy stuff in pre-fights and everything. But all in all, after the Warrior shit was done and everything was calm and the battle was over, he made sure that he looked at his opponent, made sure his opponent was all right. These champions today, I say Canelo probably give a little credit sometime. But for the most part, I don't know, Eric. They just moving funny. They just moving funny. It's acceptable. How many times Canelo beat up somebody that had just came off of a fight without a good turnaround or off of a loss? But to be honest, how many fighters can you say haven't done that or been through that at some point in their career? I'm sure everybody sometime point in their career fought somebody that people was like, oh, that dude was a bum. At some point, you know, they all had to go through that. And to me, you're just going through the fire. You're trying to go through what you're going through. Some of those guys may not ever see championship status, but they love fighting and they good fights and they good learning steps for some guys. You look up and you be like, this guy lost to that guy. But you know, that's part of the lesson. Eric all say, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder what they're doing all the time they spent with their mentors. Devin and Shakur never seem to look like Bud, Ward, or Mayweather. Say Ward or Mayweather taught them anything about the sport or PR. Well, you can say that Devin. I can't speak on Shakur looking like Bud, but I can say, you know, you could see some things that Devin picked up messing with the Mayweathers. For sure, you could see some of that come out in the way he fights, or the way you could see him trying to emulate some of that. and it's learned. It just, I don't know. But with Shakur just always struck the baby world beater. Always just struck me as a good boxer. And if you have to be looking for it, I guess you would say that's what you would see coming from Ward and Crawford in Shakur. The fact that he can box. Some of the things that they do very well, we just haven't seen it yet. And it also goes with their makeup. You know what I'm saying? It also goes with their makeup. Andre Ward, in my opinion, got a mean streak in him. Crawford got a mean streak in him. Certain fighters got that no, you didn't. They got that I'm coming to get you in them. I don't know if Shakur is mean like that. He don't strike me as having the meanness to him. He could be a smiling assassin, and I don't know. Like you said, you're only as good as the people you beat, and his last few wins for the crowd put a sour taste on their mouth. And I guess when it comes down to it, the crowd means a lot. It means a lot because they're the ones that's going to make you a superstar, a star, or just a dude that's okay. But as far as how you pull your wins off, if you're trying to stack up wins and for legacy and all this stuff, then you're going to win the most comfortable way for you to win. You're not going to put yourself in a bad situation just because a bunch of people are screaming that you should fight a different way. They're not the ones out there getting lumped up. You are. So fighters saying, forget what the fans talking about and this and that. I could see the frustration and where they come out on that. And that part right there, Eric R, is where I can see that they need some PR training where they'll be able to get what they need to say over without pretty much ostracizing the fans. They need to work on that for sure. You don't want to stand up in front of your fans and say, forget your fans. And these are the people that just spent money for you to be able to do what you're doing. Yeah, that's a hell of a negative, in my opinion. But, as time go on, maybe you will see it change. But, it seems like nowadays the shift not only took place with the fighters, but a shift is taking place with the fans because they're pretty much willing to accept anything. I know if an athlete said, forget me, I'm like, I ain't got to fuck with you no more. For real. But this is boxing. And nowadays a fan can really get back at the fighters because they can say, you know what? I ain't got to pay to watch you fight. I can just stream your shit. I'm not saying that that's what somebody should do. I'm just saying, that they do have the right to say that these days now because they have the opportunity to be able to watch you however they want to. So, yeah, they need some PR training for sure. For sure. Especially when they let crazy things like that come out their mouths. Even Canelo, when he said it, he ain't gonna let nobody tell him who to fight for. He made sure to make it seem like it was more aimed at the WBC and organizations like that, and not his fans. You know what I'm saying? You could say certain things. You could play with words and get your point across, like I said, without ostracizing the people that's spending money to come out and see you and the ones that's spending money to see you on their TVs. He said, I don't mean so much in the ring. Oh, let me get that. So much in the ring. They navigate outside the ring and business. I mean, how they navigate outside the ring and business sense. Well, when it comes to navigating outside the ring, who could you look at as a fighter that you could say, this guy navigated things outside the ring very smoothly? You really didn't catch it. Crawford. What bad thing have we heard Crawford in? Bad press or negative press? I mean, something bad. You haven't. Not really. I can't think of nothing to draw up on real fast. Kovalev. We've heard about Kovalev doing some pretty ugly stuff in the past, but his PR team and the people that are paid to protect him, you got to say they did a hell of a job to put a brace around him to protect everything that came up against him from what he did, and let it sweep on away. They didn't comment on it. They didn't let it bother them. They kept a strong front. Not our youngsters, not Shakur and the rest of them. They got to say something. They got to bring more attention to it instead of being quiet. Sometimes you just got to shut the F up. Well, they say stupid stuff. They aren't willing to take less and bet on themselves. They turn down money for tough opponents. And then he said nothing outside getting shot in the head. Yeah. But I think when we was listening to that story, I don't really think that Bud was the one started. I don't really remember how that story went. But getting shot and pretty much that, but he did, at one point he was a bad boy. His mama go out there and offer the kids some money or who could be her boy, then you are bad. You just bad. You just doing shit. But we can say, as far as after the being shot in the head, there's been a dramatic change in the way he acts and does things. With Devin, you would think he would navigate a little more because you could sit back and let your daddy be the shield and let the bullshit gravitate to him. If I was Bill, I would be, y'all got the money. Spend the money to have a good PR. So y'all don't get caught out there saying dumb stuff. Pull yourself back from being in front of so many cameras until you are sure that you can handle tough questions and you can reword things, not being street slick and all that double talk that he does, but just where you can answer these questions and have people walking away feeling like they learned something different from you other than bullshit. With Shakur, I think he needs help. You know what I'm saying? With what he has to say. They all can use the PR. These people, look, this is an entertainment business. For you to become the star that you want to be and the name that you want to be, some steps have to be made. You have to have PR. I give Tank a hell of a check in the way he handles interviews and stuff now, because when he first started, he looked like a fish out of water doing interviews. His conversation wasn't good. His answers wasn't good. Making mistakes on things he say, but he's gotten a lot better with that, a lot more comfortable with being in the lights, with the cameras being in front of his face. That's what you look for in these fighters. That's the kind of growth you look for that's outside the ring. Staying out of trouble, not having issues with your woman blasted out in front of the world. Things like that. All these things coming, in my opinion, now going to play big roles in these guys' lives and careers, because people can get canceled so fast. You made one wrong step and you cancel. So yeah, I agree. They need to get some things together to help them navigate outside the ring, because you a fighter and you trying to be a star. That means if you're trying to be a star, you're trying to get big enough that when you step out the house and you go to the mall, people know who you are. You get so big that when you show up somewhere, people start calling their partners. Girls start calling their girlfriends and saying that you at this certain spot. Hurry up and come up here. We probably get a picture or an autograph or something like that. When you get to those, when you start getting that way, you got to be able to handle yourself. These youngsters, they be out in places that they shouldn't be. Shakur was at the killing where he didn't know it was going to be a killing, but he was at the place when Takeoff got killed. I understand who your representation is, But that don't mean you got to be out there, at a crap game. Y'all shooting dice. Y'all got too much money for that. To be shooting dice at some club on your knees on the ground. I'm just imagining that's how they were shooting. You rarely see them shooting at some table. But you got money and you want to gamble, go to a casino where you would be safe. Motherfuckers start shooting up in the casino, it's gonna be a serious problem. Better believe that. But these guys are finding themselves in bad places. Sometimes you just gotta step away from the hood. You just got to. And there's been many cases where you've seen different athletes from basketball and football as well, where the guys was like trying to be so real and so true to the hood that they kept finding themselves in the hood and bad stuff kept happening to them. I don't even want to pull any of the guys' names out. A couple of basketball players got caught with guns and stuff like that. Just dumb stuff, foolishness. Too dumb to realize that you have finally crossed that line and you've made it. You've made it. If you want to reach back and bring your loved ones, your partners out the hood, then make a deal with them. Make a real deal with them. Look, I need you to go to school. I'm gonna pay for you to go to school, but you got to have good grades and you got to make your grades. And you can't be messing up because after you get through with school, I'm gonna hire you. Do some LeBron stuff. That to me, that's genius. That's how you get your boys out the hood like that. Make them earn what they need to earn, but they have to show that they're gonna do it. Don't just lay the path out in front of them. Look, I made it. I'm bringing you with me, but in order for you to come with me, you got to show that you're gonna be worthy for this. When we get down the line, you can't just come out the hood and just still be hoodish. No, you can't do that. You can't come out the hood and still be hood. You got to come out the hood. I ain't asking you to change your personality or nothing like that. What I'm asking you to do is learn this system with me so you can help me navigate it so we can get this money. That's how you bring your boys out the hood. But that's just my way of thinking. I don't know what to say about these youngsters and how they handling things. But if I had to point at a youngster and say they moved and they seem to have their stuff together, LeBron James would be the first one I would point at. He would be the first one that I would point at. Looking at him come from being a youngster to what he is now, all his friends that he had, look at where they are now. That youngster had his stuff together at a very young age. I salute him to that. Salute to LeBron James for handling his business and helping Rich Paul and the rest of his boys come up like he did. But everybody got to be having the same dream. They got to be wanting the same thing. They got to be wanting to leave the nonsense and the pullback and the craziness behind and get a better life. That's what they got to be after. What else you got for me, Eric? So, yeah, I feel like these young boxers, if they're going to move a certain way, they need to make sure they can move correctly, where they can answer questions. Think first, then answer. Don't just be blurting out anything just because you're mad. Calm yourself down. Don't just, because every time they say something dumb, they're just giving more fuel to have negative thoughts, negative impressions, and harder negotiations. Simple as that. Turning down tough fights. I don't know what kind of money is involved with it. I can't tell nobody how much money you should take or how much money you shouldn't take. But if it's going to jeopardize the chance of a fight, and you're supposed to be this hellified fighter, this dude that can beat everybody, if this is the guy that you say you are, and the other guys standing in front of your way, then take what you need to take in order to get what he got, in order to take that spot. Sometimes you got to eat crumbs in order to get what you want. Take those crumbs. Well, what they consider crumbs, you know, when we hit a number $1.7 million, man, I'd have been fighting my ass off. Especially if that's the first time that somebody's ever thought about even throwing a number like that out there to me. Every number prior to that has been a few $100,000. You know, I'm pretty sure that when you mention you first getting started, a few $100,000, it ain't nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, we all heard Floyd say he had to concede everything to Oscar De La Hoya. But look what he gained from it. You guys got to start thinking. Start making the right moves. You dads that are in control and trying to guide your sons. Well, I guess if I had to say, Bill and everybody else, if you guys really want to look at somebody, look at the Porters. Look at the Mayweathers. Look at the Garcias. I can Angel said some dumb things, but not Danny. What's the other guy's name? The Ghost. His dad was off the chain. But he was the blocker for his son. He absorbed the bullshit. He made sure if something was outlandishly said, it came from him. All those sons that I just named, they pretty much knew how to navigate the waters of the stardom that came to them. But I guess I'm beating a dead horse, and I'll stop that. H-Town, pretty background right there. Well, I feel like I done talked y'all ears off enough. And I got to get ready to go do some things again. Start this next day. But I appreciate everybody stopping through and conversating with me, or should I say letting myself ramble on about the things that's going on in boxing and how Caleb Plant did and what I think should go on with Canelo. I cannot say, are you guys going to go watch The Fire Within? I think that's the name of it, The Fire Within, the Clarissa Shields movie. I am going to watch that. I am excited. I had been hearing it, talk about it. You best believe. I think it's out in December, Christmas Day. Is it Christmas Day? If it is, that's going to be a gift for me and my wife. I am going to see Clarissa Shields. I'm going to make sure I support her in that. I want to see that fight, that movie. From what I've seen in the clips of it, from the trailer of it, it looks like it's going to be good. It looks like it's going to be good. It looks like it's been shot well. I heard Clarissa say that the young lady they picked the player, they made sure that she took up some boxing. She did some boxing training, because Clarissa said she didn't want somebody out there not being able to represent her the way it should be represented. And kudos to that young lady, man, because little black girl from Michigan doing what she's done with the odds against her like they were. That is that's an American story if I've ever heard one. That's the American dream. She's living it. She is living it. So with that, I'm out. Thank you for joining me. For those who's going to be watching the replay, I'll say thank you. Hit the thumbs up for me. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.